Hi, all. Good morning. Good morning, all. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Um, in the previous class, like we have seen about guard services, with Alvo guard services, like how we'll be getting the data. I mean, like how we'll be restricting either particular route or URL they can navigate or not based on permissions. Like we can easily do something like which are the things like they want to do it. We can easily restrict the things. Okay. Today, let us start about the API calls. Let us start with the API calls. Let me show you guys something like pre-API calls things. Let's go with the photos or something. Okay. Let's write a code to display the different types of images. For example, like we have this mark API, right? Image is a simple API. Like you can do our field operations to do any type of things on it, like for the matter of the comments, write our own thing like market APIs, for example like post, comments, for everything. Whichever you guys like it, either users API or the Todo's API, like whichever you likes it. I can easily write the thing. Let me write out Todo's right now. And suppose if you want to integrate the APIs, there is two ways. One is the socket connection. Right now, like we don't have any socket like in the front end. I mean, like in the back end, we don't have. So if there is a socket available on backend, we can do it. But right now, we can go ahead with the SAP communication. SAP communication. If you want to do the REST API communication, we need to understand how we can easily do that operation. How can we do easily to do that operation? That is with the help of first thing is import HTTP client module. First, we need to import an HTTP client module in the root module app.module.ts. That suggestion is not came. Let's see, like other Angular, common, HTTP. See, this one like we need to import from our Angular common HTTP. If you want to integrate the REST API, we need to import our HTTP client module. After importing this one, like for formatting into just like the spaces and all, like you can select Control A, Control KF. It will be just like in the proper alignment, something that will be in a good structure. Um, Whereas after importing these things, after importing these things, in the which are the service you want to write the API related logic. So, for example, let us write in the common service. Let us write in the common service. We need to inject an HTTP client service. HTTP client service. Now, we can easily communicate between front end to back end. For example, let me write the get all to this. HTTP client get I'm doing it. If you see here in the HTTP client like we are having the get, delete, see get in the sense to just like represent the body of the array buffer and returns the response in that. Head in the sense it is in headers and like patch, post, put, request. These are all things like we can easily consider for writing the APIs. So I'm going to put in a base URL here. This base URL something like most of the case like we'll be putting the environment files, but right now just to have here for understanding it, like I'm going to write like that. Okay, let me write one component for the create component. Ng generate component base or component name. Create component. Create component. Okay. Right now I have created a create component. Let me inject the service. Common service like whichever I have created it. This is the rows go to result, like whichever result it will be coming okay. Because it's coming as a, like whichever data is coming like we are assigning same thing. But now like we don't have any enter post or something. So let me assign it the any. So I return it the any. So if any time like you want to compare something like if you want data is getting exist or not, I mean like data is getting occur or not, you can print in the console, you can easily verify it. Now one more thing like you guys understand, you should understand, we have created the grad component but we haven't give any relationship to just like display in the view. How we can publish a component with the help of selector or we can do the routing. If you see right now, this CRUD component got initialized. So it is containing the additional things completed ID, title, user ID. So let us create one table and display the data. Let us create one table and display the data. T head. Okay. Let me look at T head activities. Let me create like columns also like one array. So what are the objects something like we are having it like if you want to get the keys update that keys of our result of zero index something like I'm trying to find our zero index in the first one like it's the keys. So I am going to iterate how we can return the iterate an array in the HTML with the help of ng for directory let call of columns. In the same way like t body like we'll be writing it here td. For first, like we need to iterate the table rows over here. Starting for to let item of tools. Now, whenever each item is get it iterating thing, I'm going to iterate like columns also. If you see, like what are the data is getting occurred, it's getting displayed with the help of user ID, title, and completed. Okay, and now which are the data we are displaying in the normal simple small letters and all, but if you make as a capital case, that will be a good way to just see the user. See, first letter and it will make as a capital. That is the good thing to do it. For each record there is an ID. For each user ID there is one user ID. This is the HTTP get operation. This is the HTTP get operation to just like get the API data. This is the one sample how we can do it. Like we need to get the service, and before that like we need to import our HTTP client module, and we need to inject the HTTP client letter. They allow this HTTP client reference like we used to call the get thing, and like we need to pass the API URL here, and wherever you want to get the data we can call that one and we can easily display it. Is there any doubt in the get request? Okay, I hope there is no doubt. This is a simple mark APIs, but if you are running the real-time APIs also, those also will be in the same format. We need to pass whichever the API is expecting it. They will be telling to us like when integrating the APIs, they will be giving the API list and like what are parameters like we need to add it. That all things they will be mentioning it. You guys no need to worry about it. So we need to know about the syntaxes, like what we can pass it. First one is the URL thing, and second parameter is the headers. In that, like we can pass the tokens also on different types of things, and it can have something like parameters, response type, with credential, like in the token, just like using the password or not. That not things like you can easily pass the things, and we can do it. Okay. Hope it's clear, and let us write importing the, yeah, import our route module, create a service, inject HTTP client in custom cloud with the help of a client reference, with the help of HTTP client reference. This is the an example. Okay, like this. What get will accept? First parameter is a URL, then we can pass our options, the headers, response type with credential. This is not thing something like we can pass our configuration for the endpoint APIs. How to check the API is getting called or not in the aspect with the help of network tab. With the help of network tab, here you can see our API endpoint URL. If you see the today's like we are calling it. So if you see the request URL is something like whatever we have passed it, and request method type it can get, put, post or delete or something. And the status code, if it's in 200 that is a success, if it's in 4.1 that is an unauthorized, if it's in 500 internal server error, 403 like forbidden, like so many things something it will be there. If it's in 200 that is an okay status. And response header something like allow control access control allow credential like they have made as true. This is a response headers. Which are they sending the response to us back? This is the response headers. Like age is something like we are getting something like success function action. I mean like what the endpoints are available, like what new data is getting occur. That are things is a response from that it come. Where the request address is there, no like whatever we are passing it, based on that like it'll be taking it like by default this one are like internally our API it will be passing it. This is not things something like internally taking the things and passing to the backend. So if you see in the preview, you can easily see the response. But if you go to the response, you can see in the string format. You can see in the string format. In the preview also, suppose if you want to see in the view part, it will show, but I'm not sure like why it's not showing right now. Okay, that is the thing like how our API responsive to success. This is not things like it will take. If you see here, for calling this thing API, like it's taken almost on the 37 milliseconds to get the out data. I have mentioned on website right? It is already something like someone like they are connected with the socket.js, node.js, and to just like interact with something like based on like how much time our application should be active. Those not things something they are writing it and just like they are maintaining it. So we clear the APIs like that. If you are refreshing here, so it will be getting the data same thing. It takes 73 milliseconds to get the API data for us. Is it fine or any doubts in the get API? Okay, then you can see we are done with our to dos. Getting the to dos is done. We need to understand different types of to dos operations, something like either post, fetch, update, delete. This is also one more thing, but based on the user ID. So we need to take an user ID over here. Return same this dot http dot get. That is a backtick spaces. And instead of this I have one vertically. Now we have these things. Let me call from that place, something like wherever like we have in the component. For example, like let me pass the two. You see here like I have passed the ID as a two user ID. You see in the API like we're getting it for the to-dos like we are passing and sorry guys. You see there is two to-dos. One is the normal to-dos, one more is the based on our user's ID. Then user ID to base something it's getting the data. Like that. However, you want to pass the dynamic parameters, we can write like this API URL and we can easily do our operation. To do our operation like dynamic ID something like by passing it and we can easily get the data. This is the get with the dynamic URL. Next, we need to post the thing. We need to post the thing. So if you want to get only like one based on the produce ID instead of user ID, like we have passed the users for us plus one and our ID. But if you want to get the produce ID, suppose like this. Let's say like see this is the based on the user ID. And return this data on HTTP client dot get ID like we need to pass it. See, like I am printing the 50th record. In the console, if you see, our ID as 50 and title as a this data, and like it's printing in the video. Let me comment this one. Okay, see, we see the which of the ID is 50, that is easily getting the data. So if we see here, it's getting an true or false. But if you maintain like one pipe, that will be very easy to like, for any like new people to understand. Ng generate our pipe, other pipe. So just like display the dynamic values. See here, whenever like it was there, I said no. I'm like true or false, something users cannot understand something is completed or not. Now they can easily understand. No need of edge container. But if you're using that like no additional element, like it will be getting added. You can have condition with that also. So they can easily understand it's completed yes or no. Like if it's yes, like it's done. If it's a no, like if it's not like that. Like that. You can easily write the pipe like I have written the pipe and just like to checking is the toggle pipe. So if it's true, it will be written as yes. If it's false, like it will be written as no. Like that, we have written the pipe. Let me write prepared IPAs in the studies. So this post to the, for example, like result like this is coming. Let's see, like after getting the each record, like it will be just like happening around. If you guys see here, we are having something like one is the to do with the it is getting normal thing, normal. But like whenever I am doing the post request, to just I update the normal record like which to create it like to not one status is coming. But payload I'm passing as a user ID as a I mean like to do's ID as a 50. But while after creating it like it's created with the ID as a 2.1. So it doesn't hold it, but like our status is in 200. Like some limitation regards they have created it so that but our operation is a success. If you guys see here, this is the post request. For post request, like what we need to do it, like we need to pass the payload like whichever it is getting expected, and like we is getting an preview or something like it's completed. Like that, like what are the data we will be passing it, like it will be just like writing the same format. For create list records, like person, employee, post, anything like for your understanding, like I'm telling, like you can create a person record, you can create the employee record, you can create the post thing. I hope this is clear. Like if there is no doubt, I mean like there is a doubt on that one, like you guys need to practice it. And later on like you can meet again, something like you guys should have the practice on each and everything, something like APIs also. Then on like you guys will get the doubts on like what we are implementing it. You guys will have the clarity. Please like have a practice and just like do the things. Like this like the same thing like get by id or get by records and like post the particular id, I mean post the objects same way like we'll be having our delete thing and patch thing and put thing, put, patch and delete is pending in the APIs. After that we are having the reactive forms and we are having the ROGS concepts. It will be in the 3 days something like our classes will get over. So please be ready to crack the things for next. If any doubts, you guys can please raise it. Otherwise, like I am going to start the class right now. Okay, I'm stopping the class right now. Thank you so much for joining. We'll meet you tomorrow.